everyone, welcome to another session of Webinar Wednesday. Today's topic is actually under our how-to series that we have been doing for a few weeks already for the month of September. So this is our third session of how-to, and today our topic is how to convince an owner to sell his property at the right price. I think very often when we meet owners, okay, or sellers, they tend to feel that their property should be worth more, okay, which is very normal. I think even when we are serving buyers, on the other hand, buyers always tell you market is no good, right? So how do we actually strike a balance with the we definitely need to match the seller and the buyer at that final price before it is a deal done, right? Okay, so today we will be covering a few tools. So I'll be getting snippets of different tools with information that can be useful for you when you're serving an owner and they are maybe a bit hard to convince to price correctly. I think we should have no issue when they want to price it low, unless of course in that case we would want to convince them to sell higher, which is usually not the case. In most cases, they would want to price higher than what they should, and that's where we need to do a bit of convincing lah. Okay, so without further ado, before we get started, as usual, I would like to introduce my account managers. We have three ladies here, Celeste, Zuki, and Sherry. They are in charge of different accounts, as you can see. Depending on which agency you are from, they will be the best person for you to reach out to. Okay, so it's not just for signing up or renewing, but if you do need any form of help when it comes to how to what's that thing called? Okay, or like which tool should you be using? If you want to get a certain kind of information, they will be able to assist you as well. I thought I would like to highlight some slight changes that have happened just recently. One of it is C&H. So C&H is now under Sherry and also Savills, because Savills it has joined up with Huttons. So now Savills will also be under Sherry's account. Now also we have an update for the office hotline. So if you have been contacting us, I think I'm not sure if we still keep our old number, but better to refer to the new numbers. So please update your phone address book. If you have saved our old office number, we have two new hotlines that you can reach us at 6970 8081 or 82. Alternatively, you can also reach us via WhatsApp. So of course, this would be mainly during office hours, 9 to 5 p.m. Okay. Now, I also like to share a product that we launched during the circuit breaker period, which is HPropcast. This is basically for agents like you who actually create your own videos. Okay, of course, it has to be property related videos. It could be for your particular listing. It could be on education, like how to invest in property, how to select the ideal property. Or it could also be related to, say, interior design. So it can be anything related to property. If you are one of the agents who actually regularly have videos, you should register with us if you haven't done so. Basically, HPropcast is one part of our HProp website, whereby consumers can come in pretty much like the Netflix for property. So once you click in, you can see all sorts of property videos available and put up by agents. And so you shouldn't miss the chance to join us here if you haven't done so. You can register by the QR code here. And if you need any form of help, you can also reach us via the contact number, which is 9452 9197, which you can also find at the bottom right of the screen right now. Okay. Now, before we move on to the actual training today, I also like to share one more function that you should be using if you haven't done so, which is the HProp sync function. Okay, that is assuming you have a what's that thing called? That's assuming you have a account with the rate portal. Okay, if you have an account with the rate portal, do you know that you can actually have your listings synced over without having to retype in everything manually? Okay, so that is a benefit that you have if you have the rate portal and you have a lot of listings there that you want to pull over to HProp without having to key it in manually. Okay, so this can be done via the website or the app. Okay, if you are actually on the website, let me just toggle to the, oh, okay, you can see my website right now. So let me just show you how you can do a sync from the rate portal without having to do anything else. Okay, so basically what we'll pull over would be your main listing details, like the size, the price, how many bedrooms and all that. And we'll also pull over your description as well as photos. Of course, do take note, if you have videos, uh, it won't be ported over. You will need to upload your videos onto YouTube, and you'll be able to you would have to do it manually via the HROC website. So what I'm gonna do is, if you can see on my screen right now, oh, I think I'm covering up the image. Give me a minute. Let me shift this. Oops. Okay, shift my photo a little bit. Put to the bottom. Okay. So if you can see on my screen right now, when you mouse over your photo on the website, you can go to this section called My Listings. Okay, My Listings. And when you click on it, it will bring you to your active listings. Okay, to your active listings. And what I need you to do, if you wish to sync your listings over, that means to port over all your active listings, you need to go to this button called Agent Dashboard, which is right on the top after you have clicked on My Listings. So click on Agent Dashboard, and this will bring you to the page where you can do your syncing. Okay, so over here you can see there is a red color button called Sync with Other Portals. So as of now, other portals is only one color called red color. Okay, so don't ask me whether can sync to green color, light blue. Sorry, doesn't work. Okay, only red. And all you need to do is to click on it. You will be prompted to see we will prompt you to say that, oh, it will take about 48 hours. Usually it doesn't take so long. Usually it's about like half an hour or lesser. Why did we quote you 48 hours? Is because assuming everyone clicks on the sync button at the same time, okay, then you will come across 48 hours wait, but usually half an hour or lesser. Okay, so do take note, all the active listings, you cannot select the listings. All your active listings in the rate portal will be ported over. Okay, thereafter, if you wish to unselect any of them, you can do so. But really, I don't think it makes sense lah. Okay, I mean, if it is active, you would want to have them all in the HProp website as well. Okay, just take note, in any event that you have sold your listing, or you have rented out your listing, remember to come back and click on the sync button again, so that your listings would be updated accordingly. Okay, so that means to say it is not automatic. In the event it is no longer active in the rate portal, and you, because it is already sold or rented out, you need to come back to click on the sync button or to manually deactivate the account. Either you can mark as sold or mark as expired. Okay, in order for it to be equal in terms of the number of listings. So all you need to do is click on confirm, and you will see this button called syncing live with after 48 hours. After you see this, you do not need to stay on the page. Leave the page, go and do other stuff, or close the window. It doesn't really matter. On the back end, we'll do the syncing, and you can come back and check later. Okay, so if it is synced completed, you will see the original sync button again. Okay, do take note, of course, if you have commercial and industrial listings, they will not be synced over, okay? Only residential listings will be synced over. Another thing would be if in the event you are using some third-party app, it could be your agency created an app or your division created an app, or if you had used apps such as Expressor in the past, you will not see the sync button because all these apps would actually override the syncing function. So if you are no longer using any of these apps and you wish to have your sync button back again, just let your account managers know, and we will arrange to sort of clean up your listings a little bit in your account so that we can revive the sync button for you. Okay, because if as long as your account has listings that were ported over via any of the third-party apps, the syncing will not work. Okay, so do take note on that. Of course, like I mentioned, if you are also syncing via your app, okay, whether it is iOS or Android, uh, you can just go to the app and click on the sync button. Okay, do take note that in that case, even if you have a third-party app, you can still see the sync button, just that it will not work. Okay, so do take note on that. If you need help identifying how the buttons look like, check with your account managers. They will be able to assist you. Okay, so for Apple will be the three dots on the top right hand corner. You click on it, you will see the sync with other portals button option. And if you are on Android, it is actually a button with an arrow up and down, like a refresh button. So if you click on it, it actually does the syncing function as well. Okay, so let's go back to today's training proper, which is really on how to convince clients, right? How to convince your seller. So just a quick off topic a bit. This is H Podcast, so you can find it right on our main page. And you can see all the different categories, or you can click in. You would see that a lot of agents are already on board. Okay, so as long as your videos are on YouTube or Facebook, you can get featured here. Okay, so just gonna show you some things that we have right now. Okay, so all the different channels, all the different topics. And let's go to our today's training. Okay, so the first tool that I would like to be sharing today would be on research. Okay, and let me show you what are the components within research that is useful for when you're serving a seller. Okay, and you need to show him some trends and transactions to prove to him or her that, look, these are what has been transacted, and that is why you should be pricing it this way as well. Okay, so what you need to do, let me repeat, mouse over tools, and under the free tools section, look for research. Okay, of course, do take note, you do need to have a subscription with us in order to have the full access for research. Things like your unit numbers and the full record of transactions can only be obtained if you have a Pro Tools subscription with us. Okay, so I'm just going to click on research right now. And you can see that research is basically your home report, and you can generate a report for all property types as listed above. Okay, so today we assume that you are serving a seller, okay, and your seller would like to consider, or he's thinking, should I not sell my unit at Rivergate? Now, Rivergate is a project in District 9, a pretty high profile project with quite a bit of transactions every now and then. Okay, so they may be wondering, should I just hold on to it, or does it make sense to sell and then maybe buy another property? Okay, so I've just key in the project name and I clicked and you'll see the drop down, so you just click on the drop down. Okay, so once you load the report, okay, for Rivergate, for this project alone, you can see that there are many headers here: dashboard, location, amenities, sales transaction, rental, nearby, asking. I'm not going to go through all the different tabs, okay, because that's not the purpose of today's training. However, I'll be covering certain aspects within research which I feel would be useful when you are serving your seller, okay. So if he's gonna sell, probably you don't really need rental information, right? Okay, but sales transaction would be useful, and you also want to have a look at the trends. So first and foremost, before we actually move on to the content itself, I want to highlight very importantly this function here that allows you to customize your report. Okay, the name of this function is called report options. So if you click on it, you can see that you can change the report, or you can customize your report according to time period, unit size, story, stack, and you can even, at the bottom, you can even zoom into a particular unit number. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is to show you a report based on the default setting, which is last 5 years. This is last 5 years because this project has high transaction volume. For you, typical projects with an average number of volume, you would see that the time period will go all the way to all data, which if you are referring to the older projects, okay, the earliest record that we have is from the year 1995 for private properties, simply because we get our info from URA, and URA has transaction record from 95 onwards, okay. If not, of course, you can set accordingly, or if the project is younger than 1995, when you set all data, it will be since the launch all the way until now, okay. So for this case, I'll just stick to the default setting first, and I'm not going to click on refresh report because I've not made any changes, okay. But if I have made any changes to the different filters, remember to click on the refresh report button, okay. So let's say based on last 5 years, under the first header dashboard, you will see this thing called the price trend. Let me zoom in a little bit. I think you can see better. Okay, so this is the price trend based on the last 5 years for Rivergate. You can see that each of all these transactions are actually visible. You can see the full information when you mouse over the individual unit dots, okay, the blue color dots. When you mouse over, you will see the actual transaction details, okay. And you can see that there's all the unit number, the size, the per square foot, okay. And then there's also the asking, which is the red color squares. These are basically asking in age prop right now. That means age prop listings, okay. Of course, for this we do not have the unit number, okay. And then we also have this thing called the polynomial trend line, okay. Do take note, what is this polynomial trend line? Okay, it is a statistical trend line, not so not the usual that we are familiar with, the average price line, but it basically allows you to plot a line that allows you to predict how prices are going to trend, okay. So as long as there's going to be a lot of up and downs, there's a large number of transactions or data points, you will be able to use a polynomial trend line to predict the future, okay. Just a quick one. I see that Irene is asking, can we record? Irene, no need to record. Why? Because with this link that you have right now, the YouTube link that you use to join today's training, if today after you have attended and you cannot remember everything, just keep this link that you have and you can revisit today's training again, okay. So you don't even need to record anything. You can revisit the training with the same link, okay. Okay, now back to the trend line. I thought that it would be good for you guys to understand how to read the trend line. It's a bit mathematical, but basically there are a few type of trend lines that you can probably see. This one you can see it is curving upwards and then coming down, right? So this is actually increasing at a decreasing rate, okay? And then of course as it comes down, that means it's starting to decrease already lah, okay? There is another one, so I think this is called convex. Okay, then there is another one that is curving downwards and then up, okay, a more U-shape, that is a concave line. That is the kind that you probably want to see for your trend line, and that is actually showing that look, the prices are increasing at an increasing rate, and there is actually room for growth. Okay, so in this case here, this trend line is saying seems like it has pretty much peaked already and then slowly coming down. Now, generally speaking, for most projects, okay, if we don't even consider things like economic situation, whatever crisis that might come across, if we just look at it in a very simple way, okay, the deterioration of the building over time, okay, because it will slowly age, okay, and then of course there will be competition nearby with all brand new. So generally speaking, what happens is for most projects, okay, of course, provided it was priced correctly right at the start. Okay, for most projects, when you buy early, you stand to gain, okay, the initial launch, okay, and then it usually peaks when there will be a lot of increase in the prices until the TOP, because there will be people who say, I need the place now, I want a new place, and I don't want to wait 3-4 years to build. Okay, so they will have to pay a premium to the first timer owners, the first owners who bought directly to the developer from the developer, and that's where usually when you start to collect keys, you will get a bit more. You get a bit of profit lah, okay, and then of course whether how long it will hold on before the prices start to fall, it really depends. But generally speaking, as it start to age over time, you can see that the prices would start to fall. Okay, of course, that is assuming that the economic situation is flat lah. Okay, so if suddenly the economy is very good, there's no cooling measures, no nothing, and then there's a influx of people buying, of course, that would adjust the trend very much. But just assuming based on standard situation where your building slowly deteriorates, it will usually be like this trend that you see here. So what I'm going to do now, so this is a last 5 years trend. Okay, so if you wish to zoom in to a certain part of the trend, okay, one way, especially if let's say I just want to see maybe based on last 2 years, how the trend looks like, what I'm going to do is I'm going back up under the report options, and this time round I'm going to see, say, last 2 years. Okay, so I keep everything else the same, and I click on the refresh report button. Okay, let me shift my photo up a bit. I prefer it on the top. All right, okay. So back to, now we are at last 2 years. You can see it is loaded properly already. Okay, and if you now look at the price trend, you see it is a little bit different now. Okay, because we now zoom into the last 2 years, and it seems that the increasing portion is totally gone, and this is going down, and in fact at an increasing rate in a way. Okay, so generally speaking, if there's no changes to the situation, prices are not exactly going to hold. Prices will be pretty much stagnant or might be falling a little bit if you were to have a unit here. So in this case, you might want to show this to your client to say, look, looking at this, I think it would be better to sell your unit and park your money elsewhere. Of course, this is assuming maybe it's an investment or something like. If it's own stay, it really depends whether they like this place or not. Okay, Okay, so below we have another one called the historical price range and volume. So you notice that this is really very different. The average price, so the orange line is the average price, and usually it has a lot of up and down, and it really depends on when these units were sold and what units were sold. Okay, because the transactions will not tell you the size. I mean, you won't exactly know, like say for example in July 2020 there were 2 units, and the PSF is one is a 2001 and the other one is 2003. So obviously when a certain month there's not many transactions, the average price may not be a best representation of the prices, okay, because it really depends on the unit that you are selling, okay, whether it's the same size, same kind of facing and flooring, okay, so that really uh, differs. So usually I recommend having a look at the price trend so that you have a better idea, okay. Of course, if you wish to zoom in a little bit more, okay, if you wish to zoom in a little bit more, let's say I am marketing a unit 2702. Okay, so let's say stack 2. Okay, maybe my unit is, don't know got such thing or not, 0702 example. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is when I'm at report option, so I'm going back to report option, but this time round I'm gonna key in the stack number 2. Okay, and I'm gonna click on refresh report. Okay, now when you zoom into specific stack or stacks, okay, so you can key in more than one stack, you will be able to see even I mean there will be changes to the trend line again. Okay, so in this case I have keyed in stack number 2. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, stack number 2, so you can see all these units here. I have 22nd floor, followed by 27, 14, and 21st floor. So all these are stack number 2s. Of course, for the asking, um, we will not know the unit numbers. So technically, the asking probably doesn't matter so much. But you can see here, all of these is interactive. And if I take away the asking, you can see generally prices seems to be coming down lah. So based on this, you can already convince your client that look, maybe it's time to sell. Okay. So of course, under the report options, there are other things that you can zoom in at. Uh, the unit sizes. Okay, it could be that you want to have the trend based on the unit sizes that are falling nearer to the 3 bedrooms. So how are the 3 bedroom unit sizes trending? Okay, in terms of transaction prices, or the 4 bedrooms or the 5 bedrooms, you can always set the unit size here. Okay, the size range here. Same thing for story as well. Okay, so just remember, whatever you change here, remember to click on the refresh report button, and it will be reflected in the price trend accordingly. Okay, and not just the price trend, even here, so you can see these 4 units that we have on top. All these transactions are based on the 4 units from step 2, which I have selected earlier. Okay, so we have 2001, 2003, 2001, 2002. So I think on average, we are looking at about 2002. Of course, plus minus depending on the flooring that you are on. Okay, now let's move on to another portion under research, which is definitely useful for you, and that is the sales transaction section. Okay, sales transaction section. Okay, and you can see here, just now I have zoomed into stack number 2. So all the transactions would be based on stack number 2. Okay, of course, same thing, your timeline as well. So if I set a longer timeline, I would be able to see even more historical transactions for stack 2. Okay, and below we also have the profitable and unprofitable transactions from stack 2. Okay, so in this case, seems like stack 2 is pretty profitable. No units were sold at a loss. Okay, so of course you can show this to your client if you're serving. I would say the profitable and unprofitable would be more useful when you're serving a buyer maybe. So if a buyer is looking to invest in stack number 2, this is good news for him, because seems like stack 2 is pretty popular and so far no losses. Okay. Now I see a question from property info. There are two types of chart. What is the difference between price trend and historical monthly price range and volume? Okay, let me just toggle back to explain that. Maybe I will set everything to default so that there's more transactions to see. Let me go back to last 5 years. Yeah. So for price trend, these are individual transactions that are plotted. So you can see that you will have all the blue color dots. These are all the individual transactions that happen with the unit number, size, and when was it transacted. Okay, the asking, and then you also have the polynomial trend line that basically helps you to predict whether prices are going on an uptrend or a downtrend. Now, for the price range and volume, you will notice that because over here what we plot is the average price. Now, average price really depends on, at that point in time, that particular month, how many units was transacted, and whether this unit is a big unit, small unit, high floor, low floor, good facing, bad facing. So you can see that in most cases, if you break it down on a monthly basis, the average price would be pretty erratic, a lot of up and down, okay? Because it really depends on that particular unit that was sold for that month, okay? And another thing is you'll notice that there will be a light blue area surrounding the orange line, okay? Red blue area surrounding the average price line. That is your minimum maximum. So it happens when when more than a unit is transacted for that month, we will be able to plot the minimum and maximum per square foot. Okay, that will give you guys a better idea on how prices are. But in the event, for example, in October 2015, you can see that there's no minimum and maximum because there's only one unit being transacted. Okay, and whether you see, if you can refer back to this same unit, so you can actually correspond both charts here, and you can see that this unit is 1,005 square feet unit on the 10th floor. Okay, but maybe the unit that you are marketing is really different. Yours is a 26th floor and with a different stack, with a different size, and the per square foot really changes a lot. Okay, so generally speaking, I like to get agents to refer more to the price trend if the intention is to predict how prices are gonna be moving forward. Okay, but it's just really different kind of information. Okay, now lastly, okay, so pretty much this is the two that I'm covering, followed by sales transaction, which I mentioned earlier. Okay, so these are the two things from research which I think is useful when you're serving seller. Okay, and then let's move on to the other tools that is also useful. One of it is called age fair value, which is basically age props valuation. Okay, so what happens is that it is a desktop valuation. There is an algorithm at the back end that helps you to calculate the valuation of a particular unit. Okay, so you can see here we have all the different property types. Of course, for example, landed may be not so easy to get the valuation, provided there is sufficient transactions available. That means sufficient similar transactions that happened recently. Yeah. So basically, how we work out each fair value. Okay. So let me just give you an example. So I bring everyone to my old house. Yes, I'm not staying there anymore. Okay. So key in the full address. Put in the unit number. Okay. As long as the unit was transacted before, or caveated before, you will have the floor area automatically keyed in for you. Okay, you can put in the bedrooms, 5-room flat, and for sale. Okay. Pauline, you need to go to tools. Okay, now we move on to the other tool now called age fair value. So it's right below research. Okay, age fair value. Tools, age fair value. Okay. Okay, so over here, so I've keyed in the full address and I've clicked search, and you can see that the valuation that we have worked out for this HDB unit is 433,000. Okay, and then we also have some of the supporting data of similar units within the same cluster or within the same time frame that was sold, and the prices accordingly. Okay, and then just to let you guys know how did we work all this out, it is based on this valuation method called direct comparison method. So that there must be, in this case, there must be similar transactions that happened recently for us to use and gauge and adjust to work out the each fair value. Okay, how do we work this out? We actually work with two valuation companies, 3C Property Consultant and GB Global. They are actually valuers with more than 30 years experience. They are also panel valuers of HDB, and we also work with the banks to come up with a back-end calculation method. Okay, of course, do take this valuation just as a guide, because at the end of the day, nobody went down to the unit to take a look. Okay, so it could be the condition and some factors that, you know, mathematically they will not be able to identify. Okay, but it will definitely be a good gauge for you. And of course, if you need a formal appraisal, there is a number you can contact. This number is from 3C Property Consultant. Okay, now over here at the bottom of the age fair value section, there is an area that allows you to adjust the valuation based on your professional knowledge. Okay, and please use this properly. Okay, only when you think that you're able to justify the increase or the decrease of the prices. So you can see over here there is a plus minus of 5%, and maybe I can say that, okay, I think this unit should be worth more because it is newly renovated. Okay, something like that. So when at the bottom, when you click on get age fair value report, okay, let it load a little bit. Okay, so this is a PDF report that you can give to your client. Okay, you can give it to your seller and say that, okay, so this, I have a valuation report for you, and this is based on direct comparison method, and you can see that the price now is 437,000. Just now, let me refer back. Just now it was 433. So there was an adjustment of 1%, and that is because you have made some adjustments here. So we try to let you give you a bit of leeway in terms of adjustments, because sometimes really you guys know the unit better. You go down to the unit itself and maybe you feel that, wow, this unit is so nicely done up, or this unit very long, so it shouldn't be worth as much or as little. Okay, so you can make your adjustments. Of course, make sure that you can justify whatever adjustments you are making. Okay, now, so the same thing goes back for any other property type. Do take note for landed. Okay, for landed, sometimes it will not be so easy to get the valuation if there isn't sufficient transactions of similar property. So, for example, I think there's a Brooklyn, can't remember the name. Brook. Trying to remember the name. But if let's say that particular landed property that you are marketing is within a popular landed estate, for example, Serangoon Garden Estate, Oprah, Frankel, usually there should be no problem getting the valuation. But if in the event the landed property is pretty much that street that they are on hardly have any transactions, we will tell you that sorry, we are not able to work out the valuation for you. Okay, and usually for landed commercial industrial, we will give you a range instead of a fixed number. So just now we have a fixed number of 433. Same thing if you keyed in for a condo, you should get a fixed number. But for landed commercial and industrial, we will give you a price range instead. Jessica, yes, you will need to be a subscriber in order to generate the PDF report. And same thing in order to make your adjustments. Okay. Okay. Another thing to take note is I do also recommend, in addition to using age fair value, okay, if you are trying to get the valuation for a condo, landed, commercial, or industrial, please also try to contact your bankers, your preferred bankers, to get a valuation as well. Okay, so usually, I think nowadays consumers are very savvy, okay, be it buyers or sellers. So besides using age fair value, you can also try to get an indicative valuation from your bankers or even other competitors' website. Okay, I don't want to say who, but basically the whole idea is try to have, because every portal has their different way, different algorithm to work out the valuation, and I think it is good to actually refer to more than one, okay, as a good representation when you talk to your sellers or buyers. Okay, now let me move on to the next tool, which is Pricer. Okay, so this is one tool that a lot of agents don't really know how to use it. Okay, or they feel that how else can I maximize or how else can I use Pricer? So this is the tool that I'm going to touch on a little bit more today. Okay, before we end the class. So for Pricer, this is actually for you to manage buyers and sellers' expectation of price. So in this case, today it is more for seller. So we want to manage their expectation. And you can see that same thing, we have all the different property types here. So let's say today I have a client, a seller who would like to sell his unit at Coven Melody. Okay, so you key in, wait for the drop down, click on the drop down, and here you'll be able to see that I can choose to have data of transaction prices and asking, or either or as well. Okay, if you don't want both. Okay, you can set the time period, and you can even zoom into the unit size, story, or stack. So let me just keep it simple first. Let's look at basically all the transaction price and asking price for Coven Melody in the last 1 year. Okay. So over here, you can see that there are a total of 18 transactions. So if you add all the blue color dots, there should be 18. Okay, and all these blue color dots, when you mouse over, you will also be able to see the actual transactions that happen. So you notice this looks a little bit similar to the price trend in research just now, okay, without the polynomial line. But there's a bit of a difference here, that is we actually plot the highest and lowest per square foot, okay, plus the average over there. And we also plot the asking, okay, under the three lowest, average, and highest PSF. So in most cases, you will see, or generally, all the transactions would fall in between under the orange color area, okay, where there's no PSF that exceeded the highest and no PSF that is lower than whatever is stated here, okay. So over here, in most cases, if your unit is a average unit, okay, maybe mid floor, mid kind of facing, it should fall somewhere in between, okay. And so we assume today I have a client who wants to sell his unit at 1,004 lah, somewhere here, okay. So what I did just now was to tap on the chart, and this would actually draw a line, okay. This will draw a green color line to show you where this person stands as compared to the transactions and the asking, okay. So over here, you can see that at this price 1,413, I am 25% above the average asking price of 1,131, okay. And even based on the average 25% above the average price, transacted price, average transacted price is 1,131, and the average asking price of 1,190, I am 18.8% above it, okay. So you can actually tell your client, this price that you quote me, 20+ % above market leh, a bit hard okay. So you can show them this is basically to position the price that they want against what has been transacted and against what have been asking, okay. And there is another thing here, which is the ranking. There is a little bit of error which I've already reported, okay. But by right, okay, so as you see, when you move the line accordingly, the ranking would adjust accordingly as well. So what they're trying to say is that as compared to others, I am ranked number 15 out of 19, and ranked number 14 out of 18. Okay, how do you get the 19 and the 18? So basically, I have a total of 18 transactions, if you can see from the blue color box. So this new line that I added would be the 19th price. Okay, so you can see where they stand in terms of positioning, 15 out of 19. So same thing for asking as well. Here I can see that, I am number 14 out of 18. But in the event, you see that, I'm the top ranking, no one is more expensive than me, then of course it would be a bit of an alert for you to say that maybe prices are not quite reasonable, okay. Of course, take note, I highlight here there is a little bit of error which I'm getting my tech team to fix right now, okay. So by right, if I have my line over here, this should be rank number 4 because I have 3 red dots on the top, and this is my line, so I'm line number 4, okay. So it should be that should be how it works lah. So they tell you the ranking and the percentage above or below the average price and asking. Barry, how to export report? I believe you are referring to the earlier HVAC value. So when you generate the report, it will be in a PDF format, and all you need to do is to download it. So it really depends on the device that you download your report. So for me, I'm on a MacBook, and the download button is right on the top. Okay. Okay, back to Pricer. So today I have this client who wants to sell at, let's go back at a more reasonable one, 1,005, okay, per square foot. And obviously you can see that this price seems to be a lot higher than what have been asking, what have been transacted so far. In terms of asking, there are other units that have been marketed at higher prices. So you can actually market at this higher PSF, but you will need to manage their expectation to say that in most likely when the offer comes in, it should be at most at about 1,277 at most. Okay, of course, you can make reference to the unit. Okay, so this unit on the 16th floor with this size of 1410 was selling at 1277, right? So if your unit is higher floor or smaller size, yes, it is possible to win the last highest per square foot and go higher. So you really need to look at all the unit sizes and the stacks in order to have an idea on the per square foot. Okay, of course, if you want to zoom in, you can set certain filters here to only see the transactions that matches your requirements. Okay, of course, do take note when you do that. Sometimes it will limit the number of transactions that appear, and sometimes when there are too little transactions, it can become not so useful also. Okay, so you need to see how many transactions there are, and then determine whether it makes sense to filter further. Doreen, there is a red dot that seems bigger. 真的吗? I don't see any red dot that is bigger. Maybe the one that you see is connected to each other, so therefore it looks bigger. There's not supposed to be any red dot that is bigger than the rest lah. Okay, hopefully it doesn't. Okay, hopefully it looks fine to you, because on the screen it seems fine to me. Do take note, my live chat has been disconnected somehow. So if you type anything else, I might not be able to see it moving forward. Later, I will try and refresh that. But for now, let me just continue with the training first, okay? So I have mentioned that. So today, if you have this client who wants to sell at 1,005, you show them where they stand. Or, there's no transactions that is higher, that is at 1,005. And if you look at the asking, yeah, there's some people who are asking higher than you, but so far maybe you can say that, oh look, see, they are stuck in the market for 60 days, 61 days. So you can mouse over to see how many days these units are in the market as well. And also all of these red dots, when you click on it, it will actually bring you to that listing that is currently live on HBrock. So I just clicked on one of the red color dots, and this is actually one of the listing that we have right now. Okay, so you can see Shirley Chu has a listing in Coven Melody. Okay, let me close this. So sometimes when you show them all these different things like the positioning and all that, it should be easier for you to manage your sellers, to say that maybe ask them this question: Mr. Seller, are you in an urgency to sell? Okay, this also helps you to qualify your seller, okay, to see how serious are they. So in most cases, if they say that yeah, I need to sell because of whatever valid reason, it could be I need the money for my business. Okay, I'm gonna upgrade, I'm gonna downgrade, I'm moving in with my daughter, son, and all that kind of thing. That usually would help them to be more realistic with their pricing, to say that, oh, then maybe you might want to consider adjusting your prices, okay, your price. Of course, if they are not able to give you a reason for selling, and they are not able to justify their price, because there must be a reason why they quoted you, say, 1,005. Is it because they see that, oh, nearby the Stars of Coven selling at 1,005, so mine is nearer to MRT, therefore it should be worth more, okay? If they have some sort of a reason why, then maybe you can explain to them. But if there's no basis to the amount that they quoted you, unfortunately, I would say that they are probably not ready yet as sellers. So you can help them market, but do take note, it could be a long wait, especially in the initial stage. Maybe you're just helping to open and close the show flat, show unit, okay? And people just view your unit to benchmark the other units. So chances are when your co-broke goes to the to the lift, they would also show them all the more reasonably priced units. Okay, so you can actually make use of this to sort of position your client, and usually they should be more than they should be open to your suggestion if you're able to prove it. Of course, if they will say that you haven't tried yet, you try first lah, then okay lah, bo pian. Okay, but in most cases, let's try to save the effort. Because sometimes when a unit is in the market for too long, it becomes housing, right? and that actually affects them in the long run. So you can say that, I can help you market, but if it doesn't move, and then people feel that, wow, this one's stuck in the market for so long, maybe there's some reason why. All these would eventually affect the selling as well. So you can use all these to explain to them that it may be good to reconsider the price right at the start. Okay, start right lah, and then it'll be easier to move forward after that. Okay, now I just restarted my live chat again. Okay, I just re-logged in again. I don't know why it seems to have this problem all the time when I'm halfway through and the chat starts to disconnect. Let me see if I miss out anything. Yeah, I think I did. So meanwhile, if you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the live chat. And what I'm going to do now is to get every one of you to join our quiz. Okay, so I need you to go to menti.com. Okay, open up a new window, a new tab. Go to menti.com and key in the code 643301. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll also answer the questions that you guys might have in the live chat. Okay. Okay, so I see Vanessa, the ranking in Pricer is only based on the listings in HProp, right? Or can it be compared with other listings in other portals? Vanessa, it will only be based on listings in HProp. But if you remember earlier, we have the sync function. So I would say generally it would be sufficient, okay, because there will be listings that have been ported from the red portal, and also listings that are manually keyed in. So unless there are really very little asking listings in the market, if not, it should be good enough. Okay. Karine, where is Pricer located? Let me go back to that. So all our tools are housed under tools. So when you go to hprop.sg, mouse over tools, and Pricer is under the header called I have a seller. Okay, I have a seller. And Joseph, okay, the recording to this to see later. All you need to do, the YouTube link that was given to you, save that link and you can revisit today's training anytime again after that. Okay. Monica, what's the difference between research and market trends? Research is more like a home report, okay? So you have everything about a particular project. Okay, so you also have trends in research, but it's only for that project alone. Market trends, on the other hand, allows you to generate price and volume trend for everything, not just specific project, but it can be a trend for all the freehold property. It could be a trend for a particular type or subtype. Okay, it could be like I want a trend for all the ECs in Singapore. I could do a trend based on location, district, or region. I can also do a trend based on new sale, sub-sale, resale, or even trends based on property sizes. For example, I want to know how the shoebox units are trending right now in terms of prices, so I can set the property size. So there's a lot of things that you can do under market trend. It's not specific to a particular project, unlike research, and market trends allows you to do comparison as well. So I would highly recommend, we will be having a training for market trend early of October next, so in another couple of weeks, because we are launching a updated market trend. So do stay tuned to your account managers or to our event page. Once the training is confirmed, you'll be able to register for the market trends training. Okay, that's really, really useful. So I do highly recommend that you join for that. Singapore condo, how to move the green line? All you need to do is to tap on the chart. So if I tap here, it's here. If I shift the mouse, I shift it down and I tap, it will be, so basically where your mouse is, you tap and then it will draw the line where your mouse is, okay, where your cursor is. Irene, when you refresh prices, system prompts that portfolio is empty. That means you need to key in a project lah. So that means you didn't key in anything, so it's kosong right now, so nothing can be done. So you need to key in a project, wait for the drop down, and then you can add it in. Okay. Last question. How is the number of days on the market derived? So basically what we do is based on how many times. So once this listing is posted onto HProp for the first time, we will mark the number of days from there. Yeah? Okay. Okay, let's move on to the what is this thing? Menti. Okay. I think we've spent quite a bit of time waiting for this. So we have 19 people now. The top, let me give top one winner lah. Top winner will walk away with one goodie bag. I think quite a number of stuff inside the goodie bag. Not bad. Okay, got towel, got something like that. Okay, so the top winner, please take a screenshot of your winning letter with your icon, your number of points, and your nickname. Okay, and Sherry will arrange to pass you your goodie bag. Okay, let's get started. So I have, I think, 4 questions. Okay, where can you customize your results under the research tool? Irene, okay, when you key in the project name, you must see a drop down and then you must click on the drop down. Only then it will be added into the portfolio. Okay. Can search for a stack in a project? Yes, you can. So you need to key in the stack number. Okay. Okay. Where can you customize? The answer is report option. Most of you got it right. The other two, I try to smoke you by giving some generic term. Okay, so if you're under the tool called research, in order to customize your report, okay, if you want to zoom into a certain time period, unit size, story stack, you need to click on the button called report option. So congratulations, the 9 of you, you got it right. Okay, let's see who is leading right now. You don't see the drop down, huh? Okay, can search. Okay, you want to try and delete again and then type in. Let me just show you, okay, just an example, quick one. Okay, so I have, let's say I want to key in one more project. So I type in Coven Residences. So if you see as I type, there should be a drop down and you're supposed to click on the drop down. And when you do that, you can add in a project as well. So just now I had keyed in one project. Just to let you guys know, you can key in at one point in time up to 10 projects, and there is a limitation of the graph showing last 100 transactions per project. If not, there will be a lot of overlap. Okay. Irene, if you still don't see anything, check with your account manager. They will be able to assist you from there. Okay, but you should be able to see what is on the screen just now. Okay, so we have leading right now Faye, Dragon, and Van. You guys are the top 3. Okay, so the rest of you still got chance. I think most of you got some points. It's just the speed of keying in also matters. So fastest fingers first and correct answer would give you more points. Where to key in the stack number? Okay, here. Wait, let me move on to the question first. After I show the question, I'll hop over. Okay. Yeah, did I miss one question? Never mind. Enter. Okay. Okay, H fair value is based on which valuation method? I went through, I think I only went through one of it, so it should be easy as long as you were listening. Okay. Uh, is there another time when this program run again? Same topic, Norman? It would be quite long later. Okay, most of you got it right. Direct comparison method. Well done. Okay. Yeah, it would probably take a while before we rerun this topic again. But yes, you can reuse the same link to revisit today's training. Okay. Irene, you got it. Well done. Good. Kenneth, is Pricer on mobile? Pricer is not on the agent app right now, but if you want to use your browser, that means Google Chrome or Safari, you can do so. Okay. So we have Faye, Dragon, and Van still on the top. Okay. Okay. I think we missed one question, but never mind. Barry, report option, past transactions. Uh-huh. Okay, question 4. How is the max, should be what? What is the maximum number of transactions per project in Pricer? I just touched on that a little while ago. Okay, if you remember, so at the bottom there is a little disclaimer. If you put in more than one project, okay, each project maximum 100. Yeah. Okay. So let's see who is leading right now. And looks like, there's changes to the leaderboard. Okay. Now my winner should be Dragon. Okay, Dragon, congratulations. Please take a screenshot of your own screen. Don't take a screenshot of my screen. Your own screen with your nickname, your icon, and your points, and send it to Sherry. We will arrange to send you your goodie bag. Okay, we will arrange to meet up with you to pass you the goodie bag. Okay. Okay. So congrats to Dragon. I hope you all had a little bit of fun with the little quiz we have at the end of the session. If you have more questions, last chance to leave them in the live chat. If not, I will be saying my sayonara. Okay, so if you need any form of help, remember your account managers. I hope you have taken down all their numbers already. And we will see you guys next Wednesday, okay, same time, for the last session of our how-to series. Next week is on how to help your buyer find that ideal property, okay, based on all the different requirements that they are looking at. And then for the month of November, we'll be going back to our typical training, which covers individual tools per session, okay, and then yeah, so that's more for the month of October, okay, and then we'll see how things go, and we'll make adjustments along the way to think of new ideas to help you guys for training. Okay. Hey. Okay, Pricer did not work when I input the floor size for HDB. Is there a bug? Okay, for HDB, do take note for HDB, okay, going back to Pricer, for HDB, do take note that there are certain projects or certain blocks where we don't have the full unit is it? Pricer did not, when I input the floors and the size for the floor and size. Okay. Could be a bug. Let me just check out with my IT. Later we'll check it out. If there is, we'll get it fixed. Okay. But do take note for HDB. If let's say you are looking at specific story or stack, you may have limitation because certain HDB transactions we will not have. So if let's say if you remember, you refer to HDB website, right? They will just tell you, 7 to 9 floor, 10 to 12 floor, but without the specific stack. So for prices, there will be a little bit of limitation here if that particular HDB we don't have the unit number. Okay. Alvin, the prices I only have the show price in dollar and PSM. Okay, so Alvin, if you are looking at HDB, it will show in as PSM or quantum. But if you are looking at private property, it should be in PSF or quantum. Okay. I set the range 121 for size. Oh, okay. I think that, yeah, there might be some difference. Let me just take a look. Give me a minute. So if I toggle to HDB, okay, it will be in per square meter instead. Let me just put in a HDB for easy reference. Okay, so, oh yeah. So once you change it to HDB, okay, the show prices will be per square meter and the unit size also per square meter. So if there is nothing, okay, it could be that then nothing happened. But when I remove all this, it will show reach. Okay. This, if you put in the range that 121 to 123 and then the floor 123, there must be transactions that happen during that time period that you set, okay, last 1 year or whichever time period that you set. If there isn't, then it could be a bug. So later I will check it out with my IT team. We'll just double check, but it should be okay lah. Okay, and then last one. So you said that once you remove the data, it shows the range. Okay, so let me just show you example. Example. Okay, oh, this one no transaction. Let me put in something with transaction. How about, I don't know. Okay, remove this. Hard to find a project with a lot of transactions. Do you all have any? Cannot be, there's no last transaction. Okay, Norman, if that's the case, maybe can you do a screenshot, okay, of what you have tried on your side, okay, and then send it to your account manager. We'll do some testing on our end so that we are able to fix it, okay? So I think I don't want to hold everyone up so much. Vanessa, I don't know which agency you are from. You're not able to change account manager, unfortunately, but you can also reach us via our office hotline. Maybe your account manager is busy when you're looking for them. Let me just flash it again, which is here. So if you see my PowerPoint slide, let me go back. Okay. So there's an office hotline that you can reach us, or a WhatsApp also. Of course, this is during office hours, so you can reach us there as well, so that we can try to help you guys as soon as possible. Okay. Thank you, Norman. Hopefully we can we'll try to fix it if there's really any issue with it. Okay. So with that, thank you everyone. I hope you learned something today. I think we overrun quite a bit, so I shall not take too long. Thank you. Bye bye. See you guys next week.